every city has two versions of itself. The winter version is all about getting somewhere as quickly as possible. But then summer arrives, and the city becomes somewhere you actually want to be. Every year, without really noticing it, I start moving more. Not because I suddenly become disciplined or decide to live a healthier life, but because being outside finally feels good again. I walk more, ride my bike more, and somehow exercise stops feeling like another task on my to-do list.
It's so hot. I don't know if I can make it any longer.
It becomes part of the day. This summer, I also started working out at my local school stadium.
That's liquid magnesium. Okay, God help me.
During the school year, it's only open in the evenings, but over the summer, everyone can use it. I love places like this. They're not fancy, they're not made for social media, they're just places that quietly become part of people's everyday lives. The day I filmed this was around 35 degrees, which was probably the worst possible time to exercise. But I decided I wanted to move. I also tried practicing cartwheels again after a really long break. They're still pretty terrible, but I realized I don't actually mind.
So I'm done, I'm baked, I'm sweaty. I think that's it for today. I like this type of training. I kind of feel like Lara Croft. I don't know, but it's different. It's very good to do something functional and outside of the box, because usually I do the same strength training over and over again, and it kind of gets boring.
I'm applying 2 layers of sunscreen because we don't want to get burnt, right? I keep my bike in the hallway because I don't have any storage space, but my neighbors don't mind it, so it works. So I have everything in my bag and we are good to go.
So I'm taking a bus that goes downtown. I get off at the 3rd bus stop and I bike from there. I need to get to the other side to start biking from there.
Cycling is probably my favorite way to experience Moscow. I almost never decide where I'm going before I leave the house. I just get on my bike and start moving. And at some point, without really noticing it, the city starts to change.
The weather is so bipolar. It's either windy and kind of chilly, or it's sunny and like super hot.
The main streets become less important. Traffic disappears into the background, and suddenly everything slows down in a different way. Sometimes I end up in places I definitely didn't plan to go. A street that feels completely different depending on the time of day, or just random corners of the city that don't feel like anything special on a map, but somehow feel right when you are actually there. I think that's what I like most about cycling. You don't truly experience the city as a route. You experience it as a sequence of small discoveries. You are not moving towards something, you're just moving through it. And the more I cycle, the more I notice how much I usually miss when I'm just trying to get somewhere. Even familiar streets don't really feel familiar anymore when you are not rushing through them. And there's also something very physical about it. The rhythm of movement, the sounds of wheels, and the air changing slightly as you go from one area to another. It makes everything feel more pleasant.
I stopped at the supermarket to grab something for lunch because I thought the weather is good and I'm pretty hungry, and why not eat in the park? So I'm having sushi at the park. I find a quiet place with a bench, and I think I'll stop here.
I
have soda, sushi, and I mean, what could have been better? I was thinking when was the last time I had a picnic in the park, and honestly I can't even remember. It's been so long. So I'm so happy that I got out of my apartment today. I mean, I'm always happy about this, but today it's a bit special. It's good that I took an extra pair of chopsticks because I've already dropped one.
And I think that's why I keep coming back to it. Because in a city like this, it's very easy to live inside routines without noticing it. But on a bike, the city stops being a background. It becomes something you're actually inside of.
I don't even want to go home because it is so nice outside. I'm satiated, I'm happy, totally satisfied. This park is right in the middle of another neighborhood, which is very cool, and it's not very far from my place. I made it right on time because it started raining and I think it's going to get worse, so it was just luck, I guess. Behind me you can see this massive construction site. Moscow's famous sports cluster is slowly turning into a resort for the ultra wealthy, and today as I run my 5K we are going to look at this contrast from the inside.
Running changes the way I see the city too. One of the places I keep coming back to is Luzhniki. For years, it's been one of Moscow's most popular places for runners, with wide embankments, dedicated tracks, and beautiful views across the river.
Okay, so my warm-up is finished. I did some stretching and I think I'm ready for my run. Let's go!
But lately, every time I come here, something looks different. More construction fences appear, another section disappears behind them, and the neighborhood slowly becomes more polished, more expensive, and maybe a little less public than it used to feel. It's funny how you only notice a city changing when you keep returning to the same place. When I first started running here, what I loved most was how open everything felt. You'd see students, families, runners, cyclists, people just sitting by the river doing absolutely nothing. It felt like one of those rare places in a huge city that belonged to everyone. Now, every few months, another section disappears behind construction fences. New developments keep appearing around the embankment, and most of them aren't exactly built for ordinary people. Premium residences, private courtyards, luxury offices, the kind of places most of us will probably never live in.
Okay, I think I'm done. I haven't run in a while and that was brutal. I wasn't ready for this, but it was good anyway because it's not so sunny, so it's not hard to train. So let's say it was a good one. I mean, I could have done better, faster, but anyway, I mean, any run is a good run, right? I'm not sure if I should try exercises on these machines. I mean, I know how to use machines at the gym, but these are, I don't know, they look just like installations, but not something that you can actually use.
I'm not saying cities shouldn't change. They always do. But sometimes I wonder who these changes are really for. because public space is one of the few things everyone gets to share, no matter how much money they make. It's where people run before work, walk their dogs, ride bikes. It's where people run before work, or ride bikes with friends, or simply sit by the river for an hour without buying anything. And when more and more of those spaces start feeling like extensions of expensive real estate, the city quietly changes too. Not overnight, but little by little. You still have access technically, but the atmosphere begins to feel different.
So I guess you have to book it in advance. And here's another thing I wanted to show you. Inside the tennis palace, they just opened a brand new coffee mania. And let me tell you, this is not your average coffee shop. The average check here is around 3,000 to 6,000 rubles per person. And the more affordable locations start at 2,000 to 3,000 rubles, I think. So yes, a coffee and a dessert can easily cost you the same as a full meal at a regular restaurant. As long as I finished my run, the sun came out, but I think that it was good. It was cloudy because it was easier to run for me, but I'm still out of breath, and you can tell that I'm so not used to running. Although I used to run a lot, like a few years ago I would run almost every day. My longest was 10K because I don't really want to get ready for a marathon or anything. I don't want to prove anything to anybody. I just do it mainly for myself, for my own health benefit. But yeah, I just stopped for some reason. I guess I just fell out of love with running, but now I'm trying to build up my routine again, and I thought that Luzhniki would be the perfect place to start running again. I don't know if you can see, but on the other side there are tanning beds, so you can just come here and get some tan. My run is over. I'm walking back to my metro station. Luzhniki is still a great place to run, but definitely its atmosphere has changed forever, and it's a bit sad.